Who gave you the money? Question mark. So in the question mark format, when you're changing an active voice to passive voice, what happens is this who, which is a question, changes to by whom, right? Which is the option that's giving only B and D. So let's look at those two options. Who gave the money to you? Incorrect. It's still an active voice. By whom was you given the money, or by whom were you given the money? What's the right option? Option D. Who was given the money to you? Again, illogical. Right? The answer is option D. Who had laughed at you? Again, we have by whom. Past perfect tense, right? It's like had laughed. Changes to had been. So which is the option that gives? Had. When you have had an active voice, it changes to had been. So by whom you had been? Incorrect. Who had you laughed at? Incorrect. By whom had you been laughed at? Right? So remember, when you're changing it again, the auxiliary verb and subject, that also pays attention. So option C, on the other hand, by whom had you been laughed at, is correct. Yeah, keep in mind, remember, in the construction, it's still a question mark, right? So when you're changing it, you keep this in mind. Only in direct, indirect speech, it will change because it's becoming a statement. Sita learns her lessons daily. Obviously, Sita is the subject, her lessons is the object. So her lessons is going to come ahead, right? And this is in the simple present tense, right? So simple present tense, active voice, when you change it to passive voice, what happens? You just put is or am or are plus the past participle, right? Right, let's look at our options. Option A, her lessons was learned daily by Sita. Incorrect. I don't need was. I don't need the past tense. Again, B, where I don't need the past tense. I have to choose between C and D. And we're talking about her lessons, which means more than one lesson. Subject verb agreement a little bit. Obviously, the answer is D. Her lessons are learned daily by Sita and not her lessons is learned. Incorrect, right? Subject verb. Did he plan an excursion to mountains? Did he plan an excursion to mountains? Obviously, this is an interrogative sentence. So, what happens to did? What does it get changed to when you're changing it from active voice to passive voice? So, in an interrogative sentence, right, when you're converting it from an active voice to passive voice, did changes to was. What's the only option that gives me that is B. Is an excursion to mountains planned by him? Was an excursion to mountains planned by him? Everything else is the same. We just have to choose between is, has and had. I didn't speak even a single word in the meeting, right? So again, active to passive voice, right? I did not. Basically, did not is contracted to didn't. So we're looking at, this is in the simple past, active voice. When you're changing an active voice to passive voice from the simple past, what will be the construction? Was or were plus past participle, right? So we're talking about speak. So the past participle of speak is speak, spoke, spoken. In fact, we have spoken in all the options, but let's quickly look at it. Even a single word, have not been, has not been, have not been. So that's our context right here, right? All these three not applicable. The only thing applicable was. Even a single word was not spoken by me in the meeting.